The echoes of regret. In the heart of Nairobi, where the sun kisses the savannah and the air hums of fascinating secrets, lived a man named Ngongi. Gestured features and magnetic charm drew women like bees to nectar. He was so well built, even women envied his physical features. His nose was pointed, neighbors called him Nzongo, meaning European. His skin was light and fair, his hair kinky African in texture, lightened more than a typical African's. One of his greatest grandparents had early exposure to the white European folk who came to Africa. It was rumored that they had romantic encounters, and that led to a hybrid of genes in his family lineage, affecting his color and several other features. Ngonge definitely revealed in his looks, abilities and conquest, weaving a web of desire that ensnared hearts and left them shattered. He had challenged himself to excel at almost everything he did. He loved knowledge. He also had to have a storehouse or reservoir of random knowledge someplace. He would need to wield his powers wherever the occasion called for it. His aim was dependent on who was involved. To some, it was to win arguments. To some, it was to create an impression. Yet to some, the aim was to win hearts. Ladies would gossip about the king of hearts. His reputation as a womanizer echoed through the neighborhood streets. The market vendors whispered, "Beware the handsome Randy Rock," while the elders shook their heads, their eyes filled with both pity and disdain. The elders hated the moral discordance that Ngungi was spreading in the city. He was derailing the moral code they had stood upon as a yardstick for hundreds of years. Ngungi's nights were a merry-go-round of passion. He changed women as though clothing. There were no strings attached between his lovers and himself. It was a contract of sorts, as far as he was concerned. He spelled out his terms and conditions to any lady who came across at first conversation, to clear wrong impression and expectations. That way, he had no responsibility or commitment to the fleeting relationship. Regardless of this, he always had a collection of these one-time friends. Perhaps they were in for his money, or perhaps it was for his physique, or his knowledge, wealth, or just about anything. But life has a way of catching up with even the most elusive hearts. One fateful day, Nkungi met Wando, a village beauty with eyes like the midnight sky. Her laughter danced through the air, and her spirit attracted and made her friends to even her most hated foes. She was extraordinarily beautiful. Her melanin, the rare, pure brand cooked from the natural genetic pot in the African Beauty Workshop. Ngungi was struck by Wando, and for the first time he felt the stirrings of something deeper than lust. His soul was arrested and overpowered. He could not resist this summon. He lost all his tough guy touch as a result of this encounter and became a follower for the first time in his life. He had to study Wando. He relaxed his random romantic escapades and fixed his focus. After all, Wando was more than enough to be studied by his limited, mischievous mind. He felt over time that his attitude toward the opposite gender was changing. He didn't objectify Wando as he did the previous ladies. Wando's love was a balm to his restless soul. They explored the wildlife hand in hand, their laughter echoing across the vast plains. Since Wando had roots deep in the village, she loved nature and everything that surrounds it. He reminded her of her childhood as well as a culture that her people held so dear. It is said that if a goat associates with a dog for a very long time, it will copy some of its traits. This was true for Ngungi. Wando rubbed off on him. He changed for the better. He vowed to change to be faithful. Unfortunately, old habits die hard. As the time passed, whispers reached Wando's ears, the same whispers that had once warned others. Ngungi was slipping back into his previous unwelcomed lifestyle. Even if that was something she could control, the consequences of Ngungi's romance recklessness could not be undone. Like learned people say, when you garbage in, there will be a resultant garbage out. They were a thing now, a couple, with shared loads and goals. One by one, the women appeared at Wando's doorstep, their bellies swollen with life. Gunki's past had caught up with him, and he faced a reckoning. Wando's eyes, filled with adoration, now held a storm of hot. She retreated to the riverbank, her tears mingling with the rushing water. She wondered if she should regret her account. Ngungi followed her desperately to explain. He begged her, saying he ought to have told her about it longer than now. But Wando's gaze was like a spear to his heart. "You have planted seeds in many gardens," she said, her voice trembling, "and now those seeds grow within me." She told him that a farmer who worked hard on a portion of soil as a farm must be ready to harvest when the crops yield. And she reminded him crops must always reach their maturity, no matter how long it took. The weight of his actions settled upon Ngungi. He sought redemption, visiting each expectant mom, promising to be a better man. But the women's eyes held a mix of anger and resignation. They knew Ngungi's charm was both his blessing and curse. As the first baby arrived, a girl with Wando's eyes, Ngungi held her fragile form. The child's cry echoed through the hut, a haunting reminder of his past. Wando forgave him, but forgiveness did not erase the pain etched into her soul. It is said that although wounds would eventually heal, the scars that come with them would always most definitely remain behind. And so, even though Ngungi felt huge remorse and would never have gone back to his previous unscrupulous actions, he had to live with the scars that were branded on his conscience. The price, the responsibility. Ngungi became a changed man. He lost out with many friends and family members who had been responsible for his previous status lifestyle, since they could not proudly identify with his disgusting reputation. Left with little or no choice of prosperity, Ngungi resigned to a lower station in life. He now tended to the village gardens, nurturing life instead of sowing chaos. The children called him Baba Ngungi, and he told them stories of the land of ancestors who danced under the African moon. But regret choked him like a hungry lion. One moonless night, Ngungi sat by the fire, staring into the flames. Wando's hand found his and he traces the line etched on her palm, the map of their shared journey. "Regret is a heavy burden," she whispered, "but it need not define us." She reminded him of how the phoenix rose from its ashes and never dies. She assured him she would be there and that they would grow out of the phase they got themselves and was even stronger. Together, they built a family in the luxuriant village where laughter and moral installation entwined. Ngungi's past remained, but he vowed to create a different legacy, one of love, forgiveness, careful thought, and healing. And so, in the beautiful Nairobi, where Ngungi resided, his redemption story unfolded. His handsome face bore the scars of mistakes, but his soul danced to a new rhythm, one that echoed with hope. And so, our viewers, the moral of the story is, mistakes always come with repercussions. However, with intentional choices, we can redirect our steps and find redemption. It pays to always act right. Please always act right. Thanks for watching our video. We hope you enjoyed it. Please kindly subscribe to our channel and turn on your notifications for more stories to come.